We are live on Facebook. I'm just going live right now on Instagram, see who's going to join us today. And then we're going to get started for the recording. Andy, how are you today?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm amazing. Doing what I love best, providing value and changing lives. All right. I'm going to just share this all on my social media, get everybody in here, get them pumped for the weekend. Okay.
That's a good topic right there in itself, is the weekend and how to get prepared for the weekend.
Like I always tell my clients, like, don't let the weekend be your weekend.
And
Yeah.
that's such a good phrase, but I think people just probably misinterpret that like crazy.
They think, oh, weekend. Yeah, I did so well Monday and Friday, and then weekend comes and it's like the weekends are like, I don't know why everyone's mindset's on the weekends just like it's the end and let me just let loose. You can still let loose and have fun, but you don't have to just like.
But what's crazy about that is, like, if you think of what we've always talked about with programming, your mental programming is literally ingrained from a very young age that the weekend is like just a time to just relax and do nothing and go out and party, and right. So until you change it, right, until you change that mindset, it's hard to really think of it any differently.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. By the way, good morning. My client Gigi's live right now. We're not going to record just yet for the podcast, but we will in a second. And we are live on all platforms. So let me just dive into the other ones to make sure everything's running and going. And if you're tuning in live, drop your wins from this week right now. Gigi, I see you. So drop a win. Let me know how last night was. I was checking my clients' food logs. And she's like, she wanted that pasta and pizza, and she logged it in, and it hit her goals, and she stayed in her calorie intake, and boom, boom, boom. Super proud of her. Now, did that actually stick throughout the night? Let me know, Gigi, how it was. Okay. Let me just get through. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, are you ready to get started, Mr. Andy? Coach Andy.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for this topic because it's not just one topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about three things. So I don't know if Gigi is writing something, so let's just wait till her comments come up, and then we will start recording, unless she doesn't say anything. But anything? How was your weekend? Anything exciting? Any wins from you?
I mean, I'm still doing 75 hard.
What year are you on?
This would technically be, so this is the thing. I was using the app, and after 30 days, it just stopped on me. But yeah, so I just started basically not using the app. I don't really need the app to track anything, but I was tracking my pictures in there. So basically I just started taking pictures on my own, not inside the app, but it is technically I started on January 1st. I mean,
shit. Okay.
It's kind of like I started it because I knew most people would start on January 1st, like some sort of life-changing diet or, program or something like 75 hard, which isn't necessarily, it's not a diet. It's a mental discipline kind of program. But anyways, I guess it's the 8th today, so it would be day 39.
Boom. I love that. And you practically already do this. It's something like, for me, it's not contradicting, but as women, like we say, you need the rest day and whatnot, and doing 75 hard. Yes, it gets you in the momentum, but it's for women. They're busy, moms, kids. Like, it's a little bit unrealistic. Sorry to drop this on you right now. You might be, hey, if you're against this, please, like, just say it.
Well, it's not even being against it. So what I've realized going through it again is that some days the challenge is when your day goes kind of awry and it doesn't work out exactly how you want it to, but you still have tasks to get done. You're just like, okay, I have to not make myself, but I do these things in order to get things done that I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
So it was a promise that I made to myself in order to do these things. But it's helped me to just understand why I'm doing things and what the benefits are.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for me, it's the reading. Like I have the Let Them book. We have a book challenge right now. And if I don't get my reading done in the morning, like I just don't get it done because I'm just so consumed with everything else that I need to get done as an entrepreneur. So with that said, let's just dive into this topic right now. Let's get this going. Thank you. By the way, let's just celebrate wins. Gigi, lots of wins. Didn't overindulge last night. Let's go. Day 65, being sober. Let's freaking go. Mindset is so much better. Been on track all week. Yes, let's keep this momentum into the weekend. Gigi, who's going to be here next week, today, like in 1 week exactly. I cannot wait to hug her. Her and Jackie are going to be here.
That's super exciting.
Like this just brought my like joy to my day, knowing that they're gonna be here, which is to me it's so unrealistic that I get to meet some of my clients in person. It's so cool. I can't wait to do that with you, Mr. Andy. I don't know why I'm saying Mr. Andy today. It's Coach Andy. And also I have to say 8 is my favorite number. As you can tell, I've got 8s here. 8 is just like, I feel like it's a powerful number for me. Also born March 8, 1988. And so in 30 days, I'm going to be 37 fucking years old. 37. It's like getting closer to the 40s. And I'm like, oh my God, but I feel like I'm 16. Like what?
That's a massive topic right now is just like feeling youthful. Holy shit. Based on our topic.
Let's get into it. Let's start recording for the podcast. And those are live. Thank you. Appreciate you. Christine's wins. Yes, yoga at night, reading the book every day. Let's go. Let's go. Let Them. Everyone's reading Let Them by Mel Robbins. I still want to go live recording that actually. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Real Reset podcast. I am Charlotte Mazur, and we are joined as well with Andy Santangelo.
That's right.
All right, Coach Andy in the house. And today we're going to talk about 3 things that you need to succeed. These 3 things are mandatory in your everyday life. And we're going to talk about each and every single one of them. And then we're going to discuss also the power of 3 of them together. So Coach Andy, before we get started, is there anything you want to bring up?
No, I mean, based on the topic that we're talking about today, with mindset, nutrition, and training, I think we all have our notions on what that is and how it can be accomplished. But rarely do we see putting them all together to actually succeed. And that's kind of what led us to this topic today, is putting these all together and what it means to put mindset, nutrition, and fitness all together so we can actually accomplish our goals that we want to accomplish. And not just one area, many areas in our life.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. By the way, the 3 things that you need are mindset, fitness, and nutrition. And we're going to dive into each of them separately and then bring up all of them together. But it's so crucial to understand that you need all 3. I sometimes get when I'm talking to individuals and I ask them, like, what's your biggest challenge? They say mindset, or they say nutrition, or they say fitness. It really, you think it's just one thing that you're struggling with, but it's actually all 3 of them. If you don't have the 3 fundamental things in place, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to achieve your goals with anything that you do. So let's dive into the first one, the first pillar, mindset. What do you want to start that with? What would you like to say?
I honestly would probably start, when we talk about mindset, I would talk about ourselves being our own biggest critics, and us critiquing ourselves in ways that is just not conducive to growth. So most of the things, and you, like you said, lots of activities that you've done in your community and with your clients, you talk about self-talk all the time. And I'm just going to read off a couple from this great book, What to Say to when you're talking to yourself. And these are some of the things that we are commonly saying and that we hear that are negative to basically our conditioning and what we want to accomplish. And that's impossible. There's just no way. I always freeze up when I'm in a group. I'll never get it right. I just can't take it anymore. I hate my job. So those are just a few of the things we constantly say to ourselves, and it's literally conditioning our brain to think in a way that never allows us to grow or move forward with the things that we want to accomplish. So if they are not ever changed and we don't rewire our brain to think anything different, this is just going to be a normal thing that happens, and it'll come up sometimes, and this is many of us. A lot of times we feel good and we have these little momentum spurts, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, someone says something, oh, that's impossible. Oh, that doesn't seem realistic. And we literally shoot it down instantly without even a thought. It's unconsciously shooting stuff down before you even think about it. And that's the part that literally stops you dead in your tracks. It doesn't matter what you're trying to do. So those are a couple of concepts that I just wanted to talk about. The self-talk part and some of these things that we say. If only I were smarter. If only I were taller. If only I had more time. All of these things are programmed from our friends, from our family, and that's why we always talk about our surroundings being super important. So what do you have to think about? What do you have to think about when it comes to mindset and like being a critic, like being our own worst critic?
Yes.
And being in environments of just critics, of like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. That type of environment.
Yeah. Okay. So let's dive in on that. Like when it comes to like environment, like let's talk about challenges and obstacles that come our way, right? On a daily basis, as entrepreneurs, as a person in a leadership role, as a teacher, as a lawyer, as a mother, like anything that you're doing in life, like there are going to be challenges and obstacles being thrown your way, things that you have to dive through, and how is with your mindset. And self-talk is the beginning of how you're going to be able to approach these things. So your mindset, like it shapes how you approach challenges, workouts, and goals. It really is. And the only way you'll be able to approach these things is by practicing self-talk. Practicing self-talk. If you keep telling yourself, I can't do this. This is too hard. I have no money for this. I'm too tired. Then you're going to be tired and you're not going to be able to put action into motion. For example, for me this week, I've had a busy week, but it's been so good. Like so many beautiful things happening on my end, projects, people, my clients are all winning. It's a lot of energy. And little do people know, like I have some obstacles and challenges on the back end, in the background, like that people don't know in my personal life. And instead of, showing up to work and say, I'm mad, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm like, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm doing this. Like the way I talk to myself before starting work helps me when I'm going through obstacles and challenges. Not every day is going to be rainbow and sunshine and unicorns and lollipops, like and puppies. I mean, my puppy is here every day. Yes. But do you know what I mean? Like you're going to have things, and how I get through these things, how I push through my workouts is my mindset. It's nothing else. So when people come to me and say, well, I lack motivation. Okay. So the first thing I would tell you is, what are you telling yourself? One, you're already telling yourself, I lack motivation. I don't have motivation. I'm not motivated. Let's switch that script. Let's start saying I am motivated, even if you're not, even if you don't believe it right now. You have to start saying it in order to start believing it, in order to put action into motion.
And that's a big one. Like as you say that, the only thing that comes into my mind is the self-awareness part. And the self-awareness tied into, knowing when your ego is getting in the way, or when fear is getting in the way, or when that negative self-talk is getting in the way, because it literally is so crucial for you to recognize how like detrimental it is to you and your progress, that if you aren't aware enough to change these common occurrences and the way that we've been programmed, and change your surroundings and the way that we talk, you can't expect that you'll put everything together to get to a certain outcome. And I think we can all relate to this because we all get in that position where it's late in the day, you missed, or you told yourself you scheduled a workout, but you're like, oh, it's Friday. Oh, a couple people are going out. Oh, football game's on. Yeah, I'm not going to work out today. I worked hard, I worked hard earlier, so it's okay. If you consistently do that over time, what's going to happen is that you've conditioned yourself and told yourself that it wasn't worth it to do it. And that's the whole mindset thing, is like the shift. It's like the self-awareness part where you actually fundamentally know that it's wrong that you're missing, but you're trying to justify it to yourself.
Yes. And so, sorry, I'm going to cut you off right now. Because in regards to that, how you're going to be able to change your script is having a growth mindset. And that's the last part of the mindset piece, is rewriting your script, like what you're telling yourself. But then you can't do that with a fixed mindset. Having a fixed mindset is you saying, I've always been this way. I've always been overweight. I'm always tired. I'm always this. So these excuses are actually giving you that fixed mindset. Like that's a fixed mindset. So having a growth mindset, meaning, okay, like I do feel tired all the time. What can I do to change that? Okay. One, start telling yourself that you're not tired. And universe, if you're about universe and energy and attraction, the universe doesn't listen to no or not, by the way. So you have to say, I have energy. I am awake. I am happy. I am this. I am fit. All of these positive affirmations, positive self-talk is what's going to change that script in your head. It's going to change you from having that fixed mindset to a growth mindset and wanting to learn, wanting to change. Instead of staying stuck and saying, I can't, this and that, change. Like, okay, wake up and be like, okay, today I'm going to change. I'm going to change what I say. And even if the first couple of times, the first couple of weeks, you don't believe it. You don't believe that you're strong. You don't believe that you have energy. You don't believe that you're fit. Like, continue telling yourself that, because you will start to believe it. And then you will put actions into motions.
Yeah, just touching on the mindset part with the fixed mindset. I think we've all been in that position where we don't actually know what we're saying when we're saying it, but we don't realize how bad it actually is. And that's why we have to become self-aware. So if you aren't self-aware of what you're saying, how you're saying it, and the ways that you're saying it, and how it's not conducive into your growth, you will continue to spiral in these same conditions day after day. And if you need to audit your surroundings. Like we always say, is audit the groups that you're in, audit the things that are being said to you and or what you're saying to others, and try and actually be diligent in changing it for a week and see how it changes your mind. Actually try and produce a different result instead of just saying one time you said something different. It's like, implement it for a week. Can it change in a week? Absolutely. What if you compound that into a month? How much can it change in a month? So
I've been saying that I'm a millionaire since I started this business in my mom's basement. I'm just saying. And now I believe it. I'm not yet, but I am a millionaire because money comes to me easily and effortlessly. It's with anything in life. It's with fitness. It's with anything. If you truly believe something, that it's in you. You already have it. You have to just accept it, embrace it.
And that's the thing. It's like, too often we're talking about genetics when it comes to, like, same thing, same topic. We're on the same topic here about like conditioning of like our script. So, and we talk about our genetics and we talk about our upbringing. And it's, if you look at some of the greatest stories in history, like those upbringings that they had were some of the most difficult, the craziest. Like you can't help yourself but watch it and listen to the overcoming of these stories. And you're like, yeah, why can't I do that? Why
100%.
can't I overcome these hurdles to something bigger and better that I never saw myself ever accomplishing in my wildest dreams? Is because they had the conviction and belief that they could change and their circumstances could change.
Yes, 100%. Break that family cycle. Thank you. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Next
Yeah.
topic.
So
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about nutrition. So when it comes to nutrition, I always talk about nutrition in the sense of it's when you look at someone, and this isn't me saying that if you don't look like you're in shape that you don't respect yourself. This has nothing to do with that. It's when you see someone talking the way that we were just talking about with that positive self-talk and trying to make a change and trying to do things that change the outcome of their life. Nutrition is literally one of those things that when you see someone consuming to fuel their bodies and to get energy from food, and make positive choices in the nutrition realm and what it can do for you, it puts this different dynamic of why we do it and how we do it and the reasons that we don't go for quick fixes. Why do we not go for quick fixes as much? Like, let's say for me and you, or anyone in our coaching communities or client communities, why don't we like the quick fixes anymore that we used to indulge in? Like, what is something that what made you get into quick fixes when you were early starting out, maybe not even a grown adult yet, but as you were growing up, like, what did nutrition feel like to you, like when you ate?
So when you're talking quick fixes, it's like we want quick fixes because we want fast results. That's it. Like, quick fixes equals fast result. So you think. But at the end of the day, when you realize, like, it's actually not just a diet. It's not a a point A to point Z type of thing. Like, there's no end to this journey. That's why there's no quick fixes, because I will continue what I'm doing until the day I die. I will not resort back to, like, the drinking and the eating and the McDonald's and the Chinese food that I used to on a weekly. Yes, I used to be that girl. And it made me feel like shit. So in regards to nutrition, does that answer your question?
Well, I might not have portrayed it perfectly, but like, it's in a way, it's a form of self-respect.
Yes.
Right.
100%. And it's not that I didn't respect my body. I didn't love myself enough to respect my body. I think that's the big one. And, right now, Valentine's Day is around the corner. There's a lot of single ladies, a lot of single men out there, like, poor me, like, no. Love yourself enough to say, hey, I love myself so much that I can, like, celebrate this day, and celebrate it by going to the gym, by nourishing your body with foods that's going to fuel your mind, your body, and your soul. Like, at the end of the day, why are fitness individuals, I call us fitness people, I guess you could say, why are we so happy all the time? Why are we so happy? Like, we have our days, Andy and I have our days. I'll mess it up, I'm crying or this, I'm going through this. Yes. But a lot of the time, like, what we fuel our body with, we actually fuel our mind and our emotions with. So if you're fueling your body with foods that nourish your soul, like, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel good. And at the end of the day, don't we all just want to feel good? Like, our end goal is to be happy, to feel good. So whatever you eat, it directly affects how you feel, how you perform, and how you recover from your workouts.
And that's a big one, is like how it ties into mindset is in how we talk about food, right? And how we relate to food. And I think that relationship with food is something that we always miss when we're talking about, like, mindset, nutrition, and fitness, is like what it actually means to relate to food and have a good relationship with food. Too often we're talking about, well, that doesn't really taste good, and we always have to add certain things like sauces to food in order to make it quote unquote good. And, eating clean and all these things. But it's like, do we actually try and fundamentally learn why we do the things that we do? Like why we put those certain foods in our body, the nutrients that these food give us to actually, support brain health, to support hair and skin and nail growth, or, skin health, whatever the case may be. There's so many things that these foods are doing for us that we forget about. And then we're only tying our food and nutrition to the end goal, which is losing 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But along the way, we're like, holy shit, like I literally feel 5 to 10 years younger.
Were we just talking about this? Like my birthday, I love birthdays, by the way.
Yeah.
It's my birthday month next month. And I'm born on, by the way, on International Women's Day, which I fucking love. Cause like what? Highlight, how perfect. But in exactly 30 days, I'm gonna be 37. And I do still get like, wait, what? You're 37? Like you look like you're 25. You act like you're freaking 16. I'm like, I know. I love it. It feels good. Like we all want to feel young. We want to have the energy. We want to look young. We want to continue this path. And people invest in pills, in creams, lotion. Like my mom's got, mom, I love you so much if you're listening right now, but she's got like lotions like lined up like crazy, vitamin bottles, like every sort of vitamins you could possibly think of. And I'm like, if you could just fuel your body with the right foods, you wouldn't need any of that. So it's so crucial to understand that when you want to lose the weight, first of all, switch your mindset in a growth mindset and start telling yourself like, this is my new life. Like, welcome to your new life. This is my new life. This is my new way of living. So I can feel good for the rest of my life, not just, I want to lose 10 pounds and that's it. Like when I have people and I ask them, what's their why? They're like, oh, I have a wedding to attend. Nah, you know what? You're not going to lose the weight. Because that's not a big enough why. How many people have said this? Like, I have a wedding to go to. I have a trip to attend. And
but again, it's only one thing again, though. Like we're only talking about one moment in time.
Yeah.
Now, I heard this and it's like life is made up of a bunch of moments in time. And it's literally when you say that, like when it comes to nutrition, and obviously we've had a lot of people come to us. It's like, hey, I have a trip coming up. Hey, I have, a wedding coming up. Hey, I have this event coming up. And I'm like, but what about after? Right? When you talk about your genetics and health conditions and all these things that nutrition is combined with or like related to, and quick fixes and pills and all these things, it's like all these things are short-term, right? Short-term things for these short-term results. So short-term pills that we're taking for a short-term result that we might, not even guaranteed, that we might lose weight or that we might look the way that we want. And guess what? 90% of the time, we don't look like what we want to in the end.
100%. And let me just dive into this, like the pills thing. You don't even know what the heck you're putting into your body. That's the crazy part. It's like, oh, it's a diet pill. Like, what are you actually putting into your body? And then I hear people telling me I can't do gluten, I can't do this, but you're going to take a fucking pill. Pardon my French here, because I get so passionate, because I get so many people, I hear so many of the same stories. Like they put things in their body. You don't know what you're putting into your body. Someone just the other day, love you if you're listening to this, but I posted my Cheerios on and she's telling me how Cheerios got pesticide, all this chemical and this. And I was like, okay, whoa. Now that there's an extent, like if we were to watch everything that we eat like that, you wouldn't be eating anything because everything's got some peptides, some chemicals, so it's like, let's balance and focus on what makes your body feel good. And I did message her kindly saying, hey, from someone that struggled with an eating disorder, that struggled with relationship with food my entire fucking life, if I want to have a bowl of Cheerios, I'm going to have a freaking bowl of Cheerios. Because if that's the worst thing I can eat, I'll fucking eat that. So it's important to understand like what you're fueling your body with, what you're putting into your body, but it's also balance. And don't think everything's good or bad. Nothing's good or bad. And Last thing I want to say regarding that, because that's something that I hear a lot, is like, oh, but everything I eat is gluten free, or everything I eat it has keto on it, or it's no carb. But if you look at the ingredients of what you're actually putting into your body, like one day I bought this tortilla wrap and it said no carb tortilla. Okay, so I'm like, oh, I'll try it. Okay, tasted like plastic, and I looked at the ingredients and it's like, what the fuck am I eating? I couldn't even pronounce any of the names. You're laughing, but people think they're eating healthy by buying this stuff, and it drives me nuts.
It's no, but that's a whole nother subject as far as like, and I like what you said there about like Cheerios. In the grand scheme of things, we're not talking about like sugary cereals like that you're consuming like every single day. There's some nuance to that conversation, but I think we've also got to a point, and this is the nuance part, is like there's lots of people that get to a point where you actually can control what you're inputting into your body. So, and it's, if you took a toxicology class, we know that certain things like in certain amounts will become toxic to the body. Most of these things that we're consuming in moderation, it's okay, right? It's like a Diet Coke. In moderation, they're fine, right? You're not consuming 6 liters a day. There's nuance to it. And I think that when we think of nutrition, there's a lot of things that we should be cutting out though. And most of the time it's, these quick frozen meals where there's no nutrients in them. So there's, like I said.
Sorry, the frozen carb meals. Like everybody buys those. They're like $10 for this little slop of like chicken and broccoli that you get. I made a whole live about this like a long time ago, and people think it's healthy, and it's like you're still hungry after that. It's got 1,000 milligrams of sodium. It's just like what do you have to say about that?
You don't. I think you don't. I don't want to put people in the frame of mind where you have to overthink your nutrition, because I think you can simplify it more than what you think it is. You can actually make it very, very simple and still very enjoyable. And that's the part that I wanted to get to. I think you do a pretty good job of showcasing how good foods can be. Like, I know you post a lot of recipes. So there's lots of recipes. There's lots of changes and subtle changes that you can make to your nutrition to make it super fun and super enjoyable, but also rewarding in the sense that you treat your body like the temple that it is.
Yes. So respecting it. Yeah. And to finish off with nutrition, unless you have something else to say with nutrition.
I'll go after you. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
The only thing I was going to talk about was just the last part about pills. And like the one, mainstream idea right now is Ozempic, right? A lot of people talk about Ozempic, and lots of people don't realize your body actually produces GLP-1 hormones. And guess what? Again, you're putting, and this isn't to offend anyone that's taking it, because there's some pills out there that could potentially be, life-saving or life-altering for the better. And I'm not talking about every situation possible and the benefits that, could come out of taking pills. But let's say Ozempic, lots of the things like that are claimed, with Ozempic, with, weight loss, and like it's for diabetics in like controlling glucose levels. We're forgetting that it's just while you're taking the pills, you're basically changing that structure within your brain that tells you that you're full, right? So instead of learning habits that you can, learn on your own, we're trying to take a pill that costs thousands of dollars in order to teach us what self-control is.
So there is something, and actually we could have a whole discussion on this one, because I've been doing a lot of research on it, and we've been doing a lot of learning, and I've been watching some videos, and again, we can literally do a whole topic and a whole live on this, the discussion of that, but it's actually has helped people with eating disorders or binge eating and all that to learn what it feels like to be full, so they understand, and it's gotten some success on that. So I'm not promoting it, I'm not saying that, but I have heard some stuff. So look, like he said, different situations, it depends on, you know, your situation, whatnot. And yes, it could help, but at the end of the day, you want to learn what your body needs versus what your body wants. And that has been, for me, coming from an eating disorder background, binge eating, stress eating, emotional eating, that has been the biggest lesson for me. And how I've learned that is by balancing my central nervous systems. And that's a whole other topic. So on to the next point, fitness.
I mean,
All right.
we could probably talk about fitness for a long time, but what are some of the things I'm going to ask you? What are some of the things you think about when it comes to fitness, like in how you would, you know, approach coaching your clients, and for the people that think that fitness is something that it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never been in a gym. I'm scared. Again, going back to the programming part where it's like, I don't like to put myself out there in an environment that I don't know.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
Right. But that being said, it's like, how often do we go into environments that we do know right off the bat?
Yeah. Yeah.
That we have to figure out. Right.
Yeah.
There's a first time for everything. So you don't have it figured out. So what would you say for those people that never stepped into a gym, or, you know, are reluctant to start, that don't know what they're doing, but they see fitness as a gateway to, you know, their potential?
Okay. Great question. By the way, this is not even prepared. I love this. I love our conversations. And literally, guys, if we have a phone conversation, that's how we are. And I love that. We need to surround yourself with somebody that's going to lift you up and give you value. And okay, moving on. To answer your question, there's a couple questions in there. So I want to, first and foremost, when you want to achieve a goal, whether it's fitness or anything else, know that stepping into a gym, starting to work out, is never going to be easy. Accepting that it's not going to be easy, it's going to be uncomfortable. But also the big one that I coach my clients on, and they can vouch for me right now if they're live, I know some of them are live, is that fitness isn't to lose weight. Fitness is for your mindset. And this is where it all intertwines together, the fitness, mindset, nutrition. Like, I work out to feel good. There was actually a reel I just saw, and I'm going to be recreating that reel, by the way, because I was like, oh, this is so good. It's that every pound that you lose, you are actually losing a lot of emotional baggage as well. Fear, scarcity, or, you know, depression, or anything of that sort. So if you're starting out, you want to achieve a goal, whether it's fitness, whether it's in your career, in your business, anything, and you want to start going to the gym, go to the gym to feel good. Do not go to the gym to do crazy amount of cardio. Oh, I'm burning this many calories. Because I've been there, and I started with go to the gym, do spin class, and then pump class at Good Life Fitness in Canada. And I was like, I'm losing so much, you know? And meanwhile, I was stuck at this weight, and I just didn't know what was wrong. I was doing so much cardio, so much fitness to lose weight. Once you change your mindset that fitness isn't just to lose weight, game over. Go ahead.
No, sorry. Can I interrupt you for 1 second? Just to ask you, when you were doing those things, just because I think this would be beneficial for anyone listening to hear, is that when you were doing all those things, what was in your mind at that point? Was it just the result?
Yeah, it was just the result. I wanted to lose weight. And then I get on the scale. You know, there's a scale even at the gym. Like, you step on the scale after your workout. Like, fuck, you think you just lost like 2 pounds after you worked out? Like, right? But people think that. I used to be that person. Where I'd step on the scale, like, oh my God, I lost 2 pounds during this workout. No, you didn't.
But if you think about it, it's like, but you listed off these things that I think are so like essential, that it's like breaking down these walls, these fears, these barriers that you've put on yourself that aren't actually the result. So you were talking about the result and how hard you were working to get to this result. But in the meantime, we just skipped over all these other things that you were building in order to actually get to the result later on. If you allowed yourself and gave yourself the grace to give yourself time to be patient, to attain that goal. And that's where we're always missing the point. It's like, I can get on these pieces of equipment. I can go till I'm blue in the face. I can lift as many weights as possible. Then I don't rest. Then I don't sleep well. You know, all these other factors, like then my health declines. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't need to work out today because I worked hard yesterday. And literally, you've just undid these habits that you've been trying to create. And that's what I was trying to get at with stopping you there, is that the result is always in the forefront, but all these little things and habits that we've been developing and getting rid of our fears and getting rid of our ego and getting rid of the fact that we don't know everything, we don't even recognize. We don't even actually put any attention to it. So that's the part that I'm like, when it comes to fitness, it's like lifting weights is great. We can talk about all the benefits, right? Like the actual physical benefits, but what about the mental benefits? What about the actual, like, constructing discipline and excellence through fitness?
Boom. Creating
so that's why I wanted to stop you. I wanted to stop you because how often do you hear that? The result is literally right here. It's not to say you can't have a result like your goals, but it's like, what are you doing? What are your inputs to get there?
Yeah.
And why are they necessary? And why are they actually more important than the result itself? Now tell me how that result didn't happen and what's changed for you now, like moving forward.
Yeah. Like huge mindset shift. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time. It took consistency, me going and going and going and realizing, hey, I feel good after I go. So me feeling good after I go to the gym is why I go to the gym. We had a yoga challenge. I fucking hate yoga. Listen, I hate just standing still. I hate, like, that's not who I am. I'm like #squirrel all the way. And it's like, I do it because I feel good after it. I mean, I'll do it every day, but I'm trying to incorporate a little bit more and more all the time and understand that, again, we want the quick fixes because we want fast results in anything. But that's how society works. Society gets everything handed to them. You get Amazon the next day. I'm glad I live in Mexico. We get it 3-4 weeks later. We never get it. Like, it's like patience. So I've learned patience and consistency in everything I do. And then it trickles down to what I do for my business. It trickles down to what I do in my relationships. Fitness is like the fundamental piece of everything else that you do in your life. If you're at the gym and you're just rushing and you're going, that's how you're going to do your life. That's how you do, your career, your work. You rush things. But if you actually take the time during your workout to work on you, on your mindset, on the muscles, on, the patience in there, that's how you're going to be with everything else. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does, because the result is something that we always chase and we're always thinking about. And when we're starting programs, when we're starting, let's say for myself, starting 75 Hard, the result that I'm actually working towards is, yes, better fitness. Yes, better mindset. Yes, better nutrition. But the overwhelming factor that I'm going for is that it's doing something that I said I was going to finish, and I started it, right? So I started it. I'm looking to finish this, and I'm looking to build more habits and more good habits along the way. This isn't just about me finishing 75 Hard. This is about me actually building fundamental habits that stick throughout, after the program is done.
How many times have you done 75 Hard and you just keep going? It's not even, right? There's no end to it. There's no end. It's getting you into that routine. And in a way, I'm like, I have a thing because I know my body needs more rest. I'm working out right now, and that's where my season is at. So I wouldn't be doing stuff ever. But the reading aspect of it is something that I would want because I struggle. I don't struggle. I shouldn't say that. I just don't make the time for the reading as much as I wish I should because I wake up, the dog wants to go for a walk. He goes for a walk. I come back, I take my shake, and then I go to the gym, and then my day starts. And then the reading is kind of still, my book's still sitting there. So it's like you do these challenges to create habits of doing it. There's no end to it. Just like when
no, and when it relates to fitness, so when you talk about a program like that, it's actually, so back on our last point of what we're discussing with fitness is understanding your body, right? So when you're actually going in, it tells you to work out twice per day, but one needs to be outside. So there's a point to that. The point is to get outside in nature and to actually breathe the fresh air, like get out of your house, get out of the gym, like get out into a place that you otherwise wouldn't be in. And I think that's also where people get this program twisted. It's like, well, I guess it's just a fitness program. No, it's not. Because if you wouldn't be forced to go outside, some people wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's, and I say forced, but I'm like, these are those habits that you want to stick because going outside, you know, will trigger your creative mind.
Yeah.
Like you can visualize then. You can visualize the things you want.
Listen, think of COVID. COVID, what's happened with society. People nowadays don't even leave their house for days. For days. You get your food delivered. You get everything delivered. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to live like that. I do not want to live like that. There's no
I don't think that anyone should live like that. We're all, so if you think of mankind, like we're all emotional creatures, right? We want to be validated. We want to be heard. We want to, we want to interact. We want to socialize. So it's like, this is why, when we see you doing, your community stuff with your clients, it's like, that is so empowering to people. That is lifting people to better themselves, right? This isn't the comparison game. This is, hey, guess what? When I fail, it's feedback. So now I can, make adjustments and change based on that failure, right? I can get the feedback that I want. And I can make some changes to actually elevate, moving past that.
I love that.
So all these things that we're doing now, like you said, we're not leaving for days. It's crazy. I want convenience. Trust me, everyone wants convenience. But what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? Are you willing to sacrifice your mindset, your nutrition, and your fitness for convenience? Because that's what it looks like to me that we're doing.
And then the excuses that, why they can't get there.
Honestly, it's like, if you think about that, Charlotte, think about those three things that we're talking about today with fitness, nutrition, and mindset, and how we can't do the basics right. How would we ever get combined all three of those?
100%. And I want to touch base on that, like aligning all three of them, like how powerful combining all three of them is in regards to working towards your goal. But it's not just fitness goals. It's anything that you set your mind to. You want to save money for a trip. You want to, build a career. You want to build a business, like all of them.
Stop drinking. Stop Stop drinking. Stop drugs. Stop, like all of these things. It's like our tools to use against this fight against the bullshit that we face nowadays.
Yeah. And I want to, this one point, and I think I know it's super important to understand that if one area as in like if mindset, nutrition, or fitness is out of alignment, that it impacts the others. So understand that you have to have all of three functioning. It's just like your body. Your body has organs going. You need all of your organs for your body to function properly. It's the exact same when it comes to mindset, nutrition, fitness.
That's a perfect example. Can you give us a real life example of like when they're not in sync? What it actually feels like?
Yeah. Example, working out like crazy, but then you come home and you binge eat. Right. And then that comes to mindset, right? So you're working out every day. Last year and a half or so, you were there lifting me up every single day almost. I had my nutrition. and I had my fitness, but my mindset wasn't there because I was stressed out and I wasn't sleeping. And what happened? I gained weight. I wasn't myself.
Mhm.
And I had to go through that challenge and these obstacles to grow from it. And now I'm able to help people and be like, hey, I've been there. I get it. So yeah, like I can give you so many examples, and so many people do that. They eat healthy Monday to Friday, and then they go binge eat and they go drink their asses off on the weekend. Oh, because I did so well a week. Like then that's where your mindset, you need to work on your mindset right now. Because to understand that this isn't just the Monday to Friday, eating healthy, etc. So I hope, does that answer?
No, that literally, that answers my question, because there's a lot of people that are probably listening that, number one, it's the combination of three and putting it together, what it actually means, right? And does that mean you're obsessive? Would you constitute yourself as, when you put those three together, that you're obsessive over what you're doing?
So obsession is a little bit of a word that I wouldn't want to use from a former addict here, but it's not obsession. It's the fact that I value myself. I respect myself enough that I know that I need to nourish my body, my mind, my soul. I need to move in order to feel good. And I need my mindset to be on the path that I need in order to achieve my goals as an entrepreneur, as a fitness coach. I am a better coach because I take care of myself. You have to practice what you preach. You want to be a leader, practice what you preach. If you don't practice what you preach, right?
Yeah. And do you still have, no, and I'm going on a question tangent just so people understand what I'm trying to say is, when you think of those things that you were just listing, you know, when we talk about putting these three things together, now when they're out of alignment and you, let's say, you know, you want to go out on the weekend, are you still able to enjoy yourself?
Oh God, no. Like, me enjoying myself is me going to the gym. Like, it's like, because I feel good about it. If honestly, like, I just love going to bed early. Like,
but I mean, like, in going out, like, you can still go out and.
Oh, sorry, like balance. You're asking the wrong person here, because I'm a fucking hermit when I'm going out. What? 8 o'clock, I'm in bed. Like, I love waking up early. I love going to the gym. Like, that's my going out. Yeah. Okay, let's go back here. So what you're trying to ask me is, like, can you still have fun going out? Like, my clients right now, a bunch of my clients are sober. They're on this sobriety journey with me, which without me even saying anything, they just love that how good I feel. Anyways, they're on this journey. They're still going out. They're still having fun. And I know that you actually can have more fun. We will, because you'll have more confidence.
Yep.
You'll feel better. You'll have more energy. You don't have to chug a Red Bull to go and party. So yes, to answer your question, like, you can enjoy your life while doing these three things that don't take up so much of your time. Just like you said earlier, it's like simplify. You can simplify. And we'll talk more about that in another podcast and episode. I feel like we're really going to dive into each of them a little bit more, because it's so important to understand, like, the how. But right now is just understand that these are the fundamental things that you need in order to succeed in anything
and not
in your life.
And not only the how, it's like the who. Like, who is responsible for getting those things done?
Yeah.
Right? In the grand scheme of things, it's like you're responsible, like, to basically put your body in a position that it can be at peak performance or perform at its optimal levels. I don't want to be that person that just always, like, leaves something to chance. You know, I want to be as preventative as I can be. I want to put my, you know, my mind, my body, and my health overall in a position where I take it seriously. Like, we only have one body, and I don't feel like we treat it like that. Like you said, with how often we don't leave the house and how often we just allow convenience to take over our life, that we stop doing things. We literally stop doing everything that we normally did. Like, you can buy back your time. Like Dan Martell's book, Buy Back Your Time, great book.
I love that guy.
You wanna buy back your time. What he said in the book was, you want to buy back your time so you can do the things that you enjoy doing. Boom. Like, that's why you invest money into things that will buy back your time so you can do things. So when people talk about coaching, and I know we're going to wrap this up soon, but when we talk about coaching, and this isn't to plug our coaching business, this is just the fact that when you talk about coaching and like investing in a mentor, investing in a coach, you're buying back your time. You're buying back the time that you want to spend being healthy.
You're extending your lifespan.
Exactly. You're extending your life in a positive way that you can do the things that you want instead of going, you know what, I'm too tired. I don't want to go on this trip because I don't look good, right? You don't get that time back, unfortunately. And I think we forget that. We forget that sometimes, where it's like we're working and we forget that it's like, hey, go enjoy the fruits of what you're building. Go out there and just be someone that actually enjoys it and looks forward to enjoying these moments and being present in the moments that you're living.
Be in the moment. Be in the now. Be in the now.
So yeah, fitness is the last piece that ties everything together.
Yeah.
It can be super fun. Whether you don't do yoga, you don't have to do yoga. Whether you do yoga, spin class,
or just walking, just walk, right? Please.
Fitness classes, walk.
Fucking go walking.
There's so many forms of movement that will literally light up your brain and light up your mood that you don't have to overthink it. I think we have to simplify it more.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. Simplifying is what we're going to be doing for next time that we talk, because people are like, oh, well, I don't know what to do at the gym, or I don't know, should I do this many reps? Should I do this? Just, you know what? Just fucking move.
If you're first starting out, yes, just start moving. If you're getting more into, a stage in your fitness where you're a little more advanced, we could definitely help you. Yeah. So just reach out. Don't be scared to reach out and ask questions. That's what we're here for. That's what, sometimes people in the gym ask people questions.
Yeah. Seriously, that's what we're here for live. And you're watching us live, shoot us a message in the comments there. We will answer you. You can also shoot us an email, the Real Reset Podcast @gmail.com. We'll be checking that daily for you. The last thing I want to tell you guys too is I want to give you a little action tip right now, that if you are starting a weight loss journey or you've been trying to, the one thing I want you to really think about is your why. Why are you doing this? And if your why is to lose the weight, you got to think of another why. Your why has to be so much greater than you breathing. Okay. It has to be so big that every day you get up to do the things that you need to do because of your why. If it's for your kids, if it's for your grandkids, it's maybe to break the cycle in your family. What is your why? And if you want to shoot us a message, an email, let us know what your why is. I'd love to hear from you guys.
I would love to hear all of those whys and and how you can tie these three things into your life to make a substantial change in your life for the better.
Yes, love that. Last thing I want to mention is Coach Andy and I are starting a couples transformation community. If you've been wanting to change, but your husband or your wife or your partner is holding you back, it is time to deal with them. Okay. So we are only taking on 5 couples. Okay. We want couples that are committed, not only mentally, emotionally, physically, but committed, that their why. We're going to ask them what their why is. And listen, if your why is just to lose the weight, we're going to have to rethink it. We want people that are committed. We want you to really, truly want this to change your life. It's not going to change your life. It's not only going to change your life, but it's going to change your relationship, your dynamic in your relationship. You will see a different perspective on life and on everything that you do. So we're going to be coaching you with mindset coaching, fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, one-on-one coaching. So we're only taking on 5 couples right now as we start growing our couples transformation community. And if you are interested, shoot us a message separately. You have our social media accounts or the Real Reset Podcast @gmail.com. All right. We've already gotten 3 applications in. We're going to be looking at everything through. So again, 5 couples. That's it. Anything else? You want to, yeah.
Well, just a little bit on that, in why we decided to do it, why we decided to work with couples. And I think there's also a disconnect in how I'm going to basically connect it like this is, number one, I'm not a relationship expert. We are all trying to learn and implement the things that we're learning to actually make this work and make change in our relationships and make them better. But it starts with like the personal development part. Are you working on self first to work on those around you, and to work as a couple would be something that you need, especially in a household. If you're going to work on opposites all the time and not support each other, what you start to see is there's this misalignment that starts to happen, and this resentment, and you're not communicating the way that you should. And I think this actually brings that dynamic of like togetherness back. And with all the things that we're at home a lot, but somehow divorce rates went up by 65% or something. So obviously what's happening is we're not communicating well. We're not taking care of our health well. We're not taking care of our minds well, right? And we're doing less and less and expecting more and expecting change. And I think that's why we decided to do this, is that I want to take us as individuals and bring us back together so that we can actually grow. This isn't just relationships like, spouses. This is relationships with friends, with family, with, people that we just met in, from abroad. This is like bringing that togetherness back and realizing that there's all something that we have to offer that we can bring and move forward.
100%. Thanks for sharing that. It's all about unity. It's all unity. And like you said, like, we're not relationship coach. We're going to work on your mindset, like individually, we're going to work on you guys together, but understand that. And the big reason too, when we discussed this program, it's been on our mind for quite some time. And, now we're putting it into action. I see so many of my clients becoming the best versions of themselves, me included. When I started this, becoming a better version, I transformed, I changed, I became more patient, I became someone, like somebody that was hiding inside. It's like I'm really, we're not going to change you, but we're going to really maybe, how do I say this is, we're going to
assist you in becoming the person that you have the potential to be.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for, exactly that. And for me, in my past relationship, when I started to change and transform and live this beautiful life that I live now, like my relationship before, it was tough because he wasn't on the same page. And so we drifted apart. And I see that happening all the time with people losing weight, because then you realize the losing weight isn't just what you signed up for. You think you're signing up for a weight loss program, you're going to lose the weight, but you sign up for so much more than that. One of my clients actually just a testimonial. She literally just said that. She's like, I signed up for weight loss, but I'm getting so much more, because you're not only just going to lose the weight, you're going to have a better mindset. You're going to have more patience with your kids. You're going to feel happier. You're going to want to do things that you never wanted to do before. Like it's really transformational.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I think we miss, is like, we're living for the experiences that we want to create. And I think when we're not putting these three things together that we talked about today, it puts us at a massive disadvantage. So we can talk about this for hours, and why it would be putting you at a disadvantage to not have these three things. And we've seen this, and it's fine. We've gotten some no's, like as far as like, oh, I already know what I'm doing. If you always thought that you knew what you were doing, you would never grow. You would never learn anything new. So just put yourself out. Yeah,
have a growth mindset. If you sign up for this and you reach out, like, have a fucking growth mindset. Like, we're gonna give you tough love, like we are right now. Sorry to cut you off here, but I think that's a thing that sometimes frustrates us. Not frustrated, but it's like we see the potential in you, but you want to change, but you don't want to change.
That's 100%. And I can tell you stories of myself that I was, reluctant to change. But now that I'm looking back, and I don't try and look back unless I'm trying to, change things that I'm doing. So it's like I'll look in the past, not to dwell in the past, but to be like, here was a life lesson where everything changed for me.
Boom.
Right?
Yeah.
Here's another point in time where this was a life-changing moment in time where something else changed for me that's moved me to now. And I live in the now, and the experiments that I want to, or the experiences that I want to create now are so important to me and the goals that I have for myself that everything else is, I'm not going to criticize everything that I see all the time, because it'll put me in a position where it's like, oh, I can't do this. I can't learn that. That's not worth my time. This isn't worth my time. Until you start to open up your mind to the fact that you can learn and you can change, is when you will realize that your potential has been suppressed. You've suppressed your potential, and you can open up that potential if you let it, and if you are willing to allow yourself to open it.
All right. Thank you, Coach Andy. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We're going to wrap this up, and I want you all to enjoy your weekend and think of what we said and continue this. If you've been crushing it all week, you're doing amazing all week, continue doing it throughout the weekend. When you wake up on Monday, you're going to think of us too and be like, holy shit, I feel so good today because I nourished my mind, my body, my soul. I moved because I know it feels good for me. I worked on my mindset by reading a book, and I'm so proud of myself. Like, just think of how you're going to feel when you accomplish these things, even throughout the weekend. Any last words, Coach Andy?
Well, just keep putting inputs into each of these subjects. Input into your fitness, input into your nutrition, input into your mindset consistently, and with some almost like intention, with some intention that you're trying to change and do some things that you don't typically do, in order to make, monumental changes moving forward. So if there's certain things that you are habitually doing that aren't beneficial, try to change them and try to put some inputs that are different into your fitness life, that are different into your nutrition, that are different into your mindset, and just try and stick with it and see how far it'll take you and how it changes you.
Boom. Stick with it. Consistency is key, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thank you, Coach Andy, for spending the Saturday with us. I love doing this on a Saturday. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And again, if you are interested in the couples transformation community that we've got going on, it's going to absolutely transform not just your body, but your mind, your soul, your relationship. You're going to have more sex with your partner. Trust me on that one. You're going to love us afterwards. What was I going to say? I got distracted here with the word sex. Email us at therealresetpodcast@gmail.com if you're interested. And we want to know why you want to do this. And let's chat. All right. I appreciate you guys so much. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you for tuning in. And make sure you share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. By the way, this is the last time we're going to be going on Facebook or social media on my personal account. Every live is going to be on YouTube. Okay, the Real Reset Podcast on YouTube. So if you want to tune in live on Saturdays,
leave some comments too and ask us anything that you might have questions on.
Yes, we're doing this for free. We're doing this because we care and we love you. So if you don't mind just helping us out, share the podcast. Put a comment in there, share the love. Let's spread this. Let's all transform our lives to become the best versions of ourselves so we can live a long, healthy, and happy life.
Love it. Let's go.
Let's freaking go.